Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my Pan Those Eyeshadows intro. I am super excited to be sharing this with you. I wanted to start this project up again like back in January, but I didn't get around to it, and I've been dying to pick some eyeshadow shades. So yeah, I'm really excited to be filming today. I did this project, I actually started in 2018, I believe, and then just kind of kept it going through 2019. And I think, like most people, I was inspired to do this project after watching Alexi do it. So I will leave her channel down below. Make sure you go over and say hi to her if you haven't already subscribed to her channel. So if you don't know what this project is, I will be pulling randomly a few eyeshadows to be working on, and then as I hit pan on them, I will roll them out and work on something new. I have a sheet in my makeup inventory that is solely dedicated to this project, and I'm really excited to pull all new shades to work on. One thing to mention is that I won't be working on any black eyeshadows. I just feel like right now I don't need to be trying to pan a black eyeshadow. Like, I just don't feel a need to do that. So I won't, if I pull a black shadow, I won't work on it. I'll pull something else in its place. I do have two eyeshadows that I'm working on in my whole collection, Project Pan, and I also want to put one into another project that I'm going to be starting shortly. And because of that, I'm going to just work on 5 eyeshadows for this project. I think last year I did 6, but this year I want to just do 5. I think that'll kind of give me a little bit more room to work on eyeshadows and other projects. Super excited to pull my shades, and we'll get to that in a minute, but I did want to go over some of my panning goals. So I have my inventory, and I'm pretty sure that it's up to date. I might have some still in here that are from palettes that I've decluttered, or like single shades that I've decluttered, but I think I got all of them. So I'm sitting at 1,509 eyeshadows. Now that's like the pans of eyeshadow. I counted up every single one in my collection, whether it was in a palette or whether it was single, and that's how many I have. So that's the individual pans. Each one is in my spreadsheet, and besides the black shadows that I own, every single one has equal weight to be pulled. I did it a little bit differently the last time that I did this project because I hadn't listed out every single individual pan, but I think this way is going to work a lot better, and I started doing this I think the last update of my project last year, so I'm super excited for that. I have quite a few eyeshadows. Now the goal this year is to get that number to go down. So I haven't bought any makeup at all this year, actually, not even a replacement for anything. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, but I really still want that number to come down. So that's one goal that this project doesn't necessarily help with, because I'm just going to be trying to hit pan on eyeshadows and not use them up completely. Well, I mean, that would be nice, but that's not really the goal. So I do need to declutter some. I'm just not really sure what else I want to declutter. I went through and decluttered a ton of eyeshadow palettes, I think towards the end of last year, maybe the beginning of like January or so. But I still have some more decluttering to do. I just don't know which ones to declutter. Like, I keep looking at them and I'm like, no, I want these. So I don't know, I think by playing around more with some of my palettes, I'll be able to find out, like, oh, I don't really like the formula of that one, or like this one, the color payoff doesn't, you know, whatever it might be, and go ahead and declutter some more. So hopefully this number will go down. But what I would really like for my eyeshadow collection, I don't have a lot of pans in my collection, and I actually decluttered, I know I decluttered at least one palette from last year that was in this project, and I had pan in it, and I decluttered. I think I actually did 2 that I decluttered, so my number of pans actually went down from decluttering. I don't have a very solid number of pans in any eyeshadows, but what I want to do is basically get it so that my collection, my eyeshadow collection, I want it to be that 20% of my eyeshadows have pan in them. Now, I don't know if that's a goal really that can be met this year, but I want to try and get as close to 20% as I can. And the other goal that I want to have is just, I would like to have at least, I want to say I'll kind of go for this goal right now, but I want there to be like 15% of my palettes to have 3 or more pans in them, because I want my palettes that I keep, I want them to look really like well used and loved and all of that. So those are kind of my goals, but they're pretty big goals at the moment because of how many eyeshadows I have. So I do need to declutter. So right now I'm actually kind of embarrassed to share the percentage that I'm currently at. For my goal of having 15% of my palettes having 3 or more like pans in them, that's at 0 right now because I don't have any palettes that have 3 or more pans in them. So right now I have 5 pans in my collection. I had more, but again, I decluttered the palettes that those pans were in. So I only have 5 pans and 2 of them are ColourPop shades. So that puts me for my like 20% goal of all my eyeshadows having pan. I'm at like literally 0.009. So we have some work to do. I both need to declutter and really work on some of my eyeshadows. Another thing about my eyeshadow collection I want to kind of briefly mention is, as I sort of finish up like eyeshadow palettes in the future, I want to start just buying single eyeshadows. I just feel like in the end, I'd rather, you know, have like a smaller single eyeshadow collection that I can kind of like make my own dupes for other eyeshadow palettes than continue to buy eyeshadow palettes even if I really want them, because like if you think about it, it's a lot of packaging and you end up with like colors that you already have a ton of, like colors that are super similar, and you're buying it for only like a handful of the shades. Like I just feel if my single eyeshadow collection is more rounded out, then I won't be as tempted to buy eyeshadow palettes. So I want to kind of like bring down my eyeshadow palettes, but have my single eyeshadows go up. But for now, mostly just focusing on getting everything to like get all the numbers to go down right now. Without further ado, let's go ahead and pick our 5 eyeshadows. I'm super excited. So, ooh, okay. So as always, I have my Pretty Random app open, and we are going to, let's see. So the first row in my spreadsheet are the column names. So we're gonna start at 2, and we're going to 1,509. Especially when I think about it in that way, in like terms of like individual pans, I'm like, that's too many eyeshadows. It puts it in perspective, you know? Anyways, so I have this guy, so we will go ahead and pull our first number, which is 742. I'm gonna go ahead and write that down so that I can kind of do all of them at the same time. So 742. Let's do that again. There it goes, okay. 241. Oops. Okay. 706. 270. And then the fifth one, 714. So I got a couple from the same palette, I think, which will help me with my like 15% goal of all my palettes having 3 or more pans in them. So I'm gonna go grab the shades and I will be right back. Okay, so funnily enough, one of the eyeshadows that I pulled, I was actually already on my eyelids. So I feel like, you know, that was pretty cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and go through them, and I will be swatching them for you so we can see what the color story that we are working with. Yeah. The first eyeshadow comes from this palette. This is the Skinny Dip palette from Jouer. I believe this palette was like a limited edition holiday palette that they did. I don't know if maybe they brought it back, but oops. This is what it looks like. A lot of very shimmery shades. The one I pulled is this one right here, which is Midnight Swim. So pretty excited for this palette. I haven't really used this palette much, so there is a little bit of fallout with this shade, but there it is right there. It's super gorgeous. I cannot wait to put this on my lids. So the next shade comes from the Certifeye Dynasty palette, And if you watch my whole collection Project Pan, you know that this is in that project. I will leave my intro linked down below. I, as of yet, have not filmed an update to that project. It'll be soon, I promise, guys. We're getting back in the swing of things, so. Anyways, so the shade that I pulled for that project is this shade Opal, and I do have this on the middle portion of my lid. It's underneath some glitter, but it's there. And the shade that I pulled for this project is this one right here, which is Empress. And it is kind of a really pretty, it's a really pretty purple shade. It's kind of on the outer portion, like it's on the outer and inner portions of my lid to kind of deepen things up for this look. So I thought that was kind of funny that I pulled a shade that I literally just used. Alright, so there it is swatched right there. I feel like these shades are slightly patchy. I don't know if I love the formula of the Certifeye eyeshadows. I don't want to get in trouble for saying that because I feel like a lot of people really like them, but I don't know if they're like my favorite. They're a little patchy, I felt like. Right, and I actually pulled 2 eyeshadows from this next palette, and I'm so excited to be working on this palette because Rebecca Morgan has worked on a few shades from this palette, and I'm like, was always like, all right, I really need to pull that palette out and get some use out of it, and now there's the opportunity to do that. So it is the Fenty Beauty Galaxy palette. Literally started talking to the camera and I wasn't recording. Anyways, so the 2 shades from this palette are this guy right here, which is Ultraviolet, and I believe the other one is right here, which is Space Out. So 2 kind of purpley shades. I think this is one of the ones that Rebecca had worked on in the past, so I'm kind of excited to be working on it now. I just feel like maybe I'll go back and watch her older project for some inspiration or something. So excited to get some use out of this. So that first one is Ultraviolet, and it didn't swatch very well. It looks more like an eyeshadow topper almost than an eyeshadow. Like, it's not, the base of the shadow isn't super pigmented. These are hard to swatch, but there's Space Out right there. So I guess I'm going to be wearing a lot of purple for the next while. So there's that. My last palette is the Certifeye Tropical Wonders palette. So a lot of Certifeye, a lot of Fenty and a lot of Certifeye. Alright, so this is the 3rd Certifeye shadow that I will be working on because I have the one for my whole collection. But anyways, I'm pretty excited about this shade. So the one that I pulled from this palette is this orange shade right here, and it is Toucan, and I'm super excited to have some color in this project because I don't know, I feel like it's always lacking a bit. There it is. This is the weirdest color story ever. I feel like the orange just doesn't really go with the rest of them. I could end up maybe doing some sort of orange and purple look. It would be very colorful. Throw some pink in there. Actually, that's not a bad combo. I'm super excited to finally have this filmed. I feel like now I'm going to be a little bit more motivated to like do my makeup because I'm going to be having more eyeshadow options to work with. The 2 eyeshadows that I have in my whole collection Project Pan, they don't really go super well together. I mean, they don't not go together, but they're not, it's not like a, it's not where you just like look at it and you're like, oh yes, I know exactly how I'm going to use those together. So I haven't really been using them together. I've been using one or the other, and I haven't been doing my makeup a lot, so I like haven't been getting much inspiration there. But now I have a ton of different inspo. I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of purple looks. That's kind of a given because I have 3 purple-ish shades. But I'm excited, so I plan to update this project every month, and hopefully I can stick to that. Goal-wise, I would really like to use each shade at least 5 times each. I feel like that's like a very, I don't know, I feel like that's a hard goal. I don't know which one I want to focus on first. I feel like the Tropical I think the Certifeye palettes are going to end up being pretty easy to hit pan on because I feel like I have to use so much to kind of build up the color because they're a little patchy. Like today with the blue, I was like going pretty hard on some of those shades because they just weren't giving me the color payoff that I was hoping for. So I feel like I might hit pan on those the quickest. I don't know how deep any of these pans are, so we'll see. But yeah, I think goal-wise, I'd like to use at least each shadow at least 5 times. I think that's the goal that I would like to go through, and then hopefully I can hit pan on at least one of the shades by my next update, because I kind of want to like be hitting pan on at least one shade every update to keep me like going so I can roll something new in, but we'll see how that ends up working out. I think all of these shades are kind of pretty much not like brand new, but I haven't really worked with any of them a lot, so they don't have like a lot of prior progress. So anyways, that's it for me. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and if you are not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you also go check out Alexi, and also there's a ton of other people doing this project, so I will maybe try and link a few down below for you to check out if you're wanting more of these types of videos to watch, because this is a really fun project plan to watch. I love kind of letting people's updates like build up so I can kind of binge watch and just see them make like a ton of progress on things. But anyways, yeah, so alright, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.